Good morning, Bridgeport, and welcome to a special edition of Chief Porter's Corner. Today we're going to do the state of the Bridgeport Police Department, where I'm going to first share some words with you, and then we're going to go through a PowerPoint presentation. And then we'll resume our regular format. So first, I want to just read a statement that I prepared for you. I want to thank you for joining me today. As we reflect on the accomplishments and challenges of our police department over the past year, it is an honor to sit before you as a police chief and share the state of our department as we close out the year. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to every member of our police force for your dedication, hard work, and commitment to serving and protecting our community. Have not gone unnoticed. The challenges we face are significant, but your resilience and professionalism continue to make a positive impact on the lives of those we serve. Over the past year, we've made strides, and community engagement, building trust between law enforcement and the community is an ongoing process. I am proud of the initiatives we've implemented to strengthen these vital relationships. We've hosted community events, participated in outreach programs, and worked collaboratively with community leaders to address concerns and foster a sense of unity. Our commitment to transparency remains unwavering. We have enhanced our communication efforts through social media, town hall meetings, and regular updates to keep the public informed about our activities, policies, and any changes within the department. Transparency is not just a buzzword, it's a cornerstone of our efforts to build trust and accountability. On the operational front, we have invested in training and developed programs to ensure our officers are equipped with the latest tools and technology. Professionalism and ethical conduct are non-negotiable standards within our department, and we will continue to prioritize ongoing education to meet the evolving needs of our community. However, challenges persist. The slight increase in crime rates, particularly in certain neighborhoods, demands our continued attention. We are actively working to analyze crime patterns, collaborate with our law enforcement agencies and partners to implement strategies to address these issues head-on. Community involvement remains critical, and I encourage residents to be proactive partners in promoting a safe and secure environment for everyone. Looking ahead to the coming year, we will focus on innovation, communication, collaboration, and technology to enhance our policing capabilities, embracing new technologies such as predictive policing, hotspot policing, our ShotSpotter system, our NIBIN system, the Fusion Center, and our newly installed DNA kiosk, where we will be able to process DNA evidence in a much more rapid manner to get results back in a much more timely manner. In closing, I want to express my gratitude to the entire community for their support. Together we can overcome challenges and continue to make our city a safer and more secure place to live. Let us enter the new year with a renewed commitment to collaboration, understanding, and a shared responsibility. Thank you, and may we all work together for a brighter and safer future and a brighter and safer Bridgeport. So with that, we're going to begin a PowerPoint presentation just to highlight some of the achievements and some of the things that we've done thus far and things that we look to do as we go forward into the new year. And I'll point out a couple of different things throughout the PowerPoint presentation. So let's get started. So the PowerPoint is focused on some of the 4 strategic policing pillars that I talked about when I first became the police chief. It's a spinoff of President Obama's 21st century policing strategy, where he introduced 6 pillars. So we embrace all 6 pillars, but for our purposes, we're focusing on these 4 here today. So the first one is going to be public safety. So our public safety efforts are supported by our partnerships throughout the community and with other stakeholders. Just a couple to highlight here are DSSD. We have partnered with the DSSD, the Downtown Business District, to provide an inviting, safe downtown area. And this past year, we've committed to police presence and working hand in hand with the Downtown Business District. And I think we've seen some success in those areas. We have room to improve, and we're going to continue to improve. But I think having a strong downtown is the cornerstone to creating a much safer Bridgeport as we move out from the downtown areas. Operation Wingspan. Operation Wingspan is a partnership that we have with our surrounding towns, where we do stolen auto enforcement and other activities. It's also a cornerstone of our law enforcement strategy, and we're going to continue to operate and work our Operation Wingspan with our local partners, being Fairfield, Stratford, Trumbull, and Westport. This next slide is just a snapshot of some of the NRZs that are here in Bridgeport. And I believe thus far we've connected with a good majority of these NRZs, and we've partnered with to discuss strategies to help their communities become safer, and implement some programs to build more community involvement with those within those NRZs. NRZs are really critical to providing a safe environment by just sharing with us some of the ideas and some of the concerns that they have in their communities, be it environmental or safety or other issues or other hazards within those communities. So we are committed to our NRZs, and we will continue to support our NRZs throughout the city of Bridgeport. And again, I believe thus far we've connected with a good majority of the NRZs in the city of Bridgeport. Project Safe Neighborhood, as the slide states, working together to stop violent crime and make communities safer. Project Safe Neighborhoods is a program that we work with our federal partners, and we're going to continue to work with our Project Safe Neighborhoods. If you looked at our website, we've posted some of the successes that we've had with our Project Safe Neighborhood partners, whether it be state, local, and our federal partners. And we've been very successful, and we're just going to double down our efforts to work with Project Safe Neighborhood to ensure that we have those resources to investigate crimes that sometimes are beyond what we can do here in the Bridgeport Police Department. But this has been a very successful partnership with Project Safe Neighborhoods, which is supported by and headed by our U.S. Attorney in the state of Connecticut. Just some efforts, right? As we talk about public safety, hiring, I'm very excited to talk about our hiring efforts. So thus far this year, we've hired 43 police officers in the city of Bridgeport. And we have a process that we are now undertaking to bring on more officers. So the mayor set a goal, which in the beginning many thought it was kind of a lofty goal, but I believe it was one that we are well on our way to attaining, of hiring 100 police officers. So we're already at 43 officers that we've hired this year. We're processing applicants now. So in 2024, we expect to put on a couple classes to help us get to that goal of 100 officers. Also, we are also now, as a part of our hiring process, is we're able to hire laterals, meaning we're able to take officers from other departments. They're going to still meet the same standards as any new officer coming onto the Bridgeport Police Department. However, it will just expedite the training process, and we'll be able to get those officers on the road much quicker. So I think that hiring more officers is a critical part of our public safety efforts to make sure we have a strong, vibrant police department going forward. As we talk about crime, so this past year, our crime has had a slight increase to date. We're about 5% ahead of last year's pace. But I want to keep in mind that we are roughly 100 or more cops shorter than we were at this time last year. But in spite of that, and because of the hard work of our police officers and our investigators, we're basically at the same rate that we were this time last year. Our shootings are down. Our shooting victims are down. So that's encouraging news. In the last couple of months, I've seen a trend in our crime stats where they've been trending down. So I think that some of the efforts that we've undertaken with some of the operations that we've undertaken that I'm going to mention here in a minute, it's really paid dividends, and we do see our crime currently trending downwards. And again, I always like to state that crime stats are just a measure and a tool to give us a perspective of where we are, but the best perspective is how our citizens feel. Your perception is key to me. So if our crime rates stay that crime is real low and you feel that you aren't safe, then that's what that's what I will go by. So the crime stats are just a measure to give us a guide of where we are, but ultimately how you, the citizens, feel is what's most important to me. Our traffic safety. When I came on as chief, this was one of the key cornerstones that I wanted to address. And because of our manpower issues, we've not been fully able to undertake all of the traffic efforts that we want to undertake. But going into 24, traffic safety remains and will be a priority for us. And traffic safety is not just about our traffic division or one particular unit. traffic safety is something that we want to adopt as a mindset throughout the police department. So all of our officers are concerned and cognizant of traffic safety. So we've done some things to address traffic safety, and we're going to do even more going into 2024. We're going to continue to seek to obtain grants so we can have some to offset some of the costs for traffic safety. But the key is we want to utilize all members of our department. So we give us a much wider pool of individuals and officers that will be able to enforce traffic safety. So traffic safety is key in the city of Bridgeport, and we're going to continue to enforce traffic safety. We're going to really encourage that going forward. As I look at our stats from last year versus this year, our fatal and non-fatal serious accidents are down as compared to this time last year. The slide you see now is a system. It's called a Faro laser scanner. This is a tool, a technique, some technology that our traffic division has now at their disposal to help reconstruct major accidents. One of the other tools that we've provided to the traffic division is they now have the full resources of the Detective Bureau, meaning they have access to our identification unit, our crime scene unit, our video retrieving unit to assist them in their investigation of traffic accidents. So we've really expanded the access for the traffic division to utilize all these other entities within the department who have expertise in processing crime scenes, be a traffic scene or a crime scene. So they have the Detective Bureau at their disposal at this time as well. Motorcycles. This is something that, in the past, Bridgeport has had quite a number of motorcycles. We really only have 2 certified motorcycle operators right now. But one of the things that we're going to introduce is we're soliciting interest, or we've solicited interest, and we just have to formalize it, auxiliary motorcycle officers. So officers who may not be assigned to the traffic division, but they'll be a part of our auxiliary motorcycle unit where they will, for certain events, will have a much larger number of motorcycle riders at certain events. So we're going to look to expand that or put that in place as we go into 2024, where we're able to expand our motorcycle unit. Community engagement. So if anybody followed me or listened to me at any of the interview sessions before I became chief, I really talked a lot about community engagement. And in fact, I really want to reiterate that when I became the chief, one of the things that Mayor Ganim said to me was, I really want you to engage with the community, make sure we have that trust and that collaboration with our community. So that's been that's been the cornerstone, I think, of my last year. One of the things I'm most proud about is our community engagement efforts. And it wasn't just me, it was a collective effort with myself and many officers in the department. So, and our community partners who were willing to engage with us as well. So we're gonna talk about some of the community engagement efforts that we've undertaken. So we've gone out to schools. These photos you see here are some photos with me with some kids, some students. The one on the left is Housatonic. There was some students from a Housatonic class I spoke to. The one on the right, I was at Horizon Sacred Heart, talking to at their career day, talking to students at that program. Some of our other community engagement efforts, one of the big ones that I really undertaken in the past year was engaging with our religious communities. It's been a cornerstone. We participated in Faith and Police Officer Weekend. The shots you have here, the one on the right, I'm at the Islamic Center, one of my big partners that we partnered with and we collaborated with. They invited me to some of their ceremonies and their prayer services. I think engaging our faith-based communities is really key to helping us engage in the community, and we're committed to that, and we're going to continue to engage with our faith-based institutions. Just some of the other efforts that our officers have done to engage with the community. It's so ironic, when we started doing these, in the beginning we had just a few officers who were interested, and then more and more officers wanted to become interested in it. So I kind of mentioned it, and the officers kind of ran with this. So this is something that I really credit many of my officers who are committed to community engagement, and this is something that they were excited about getting involved in. So you can see here, I think that's a coffee with a cop. We have an officer working a drive-through, giving out patches. So more community engagement efforts. Officer Mark Blackwell on the left. Sergeant Neary and Officer Bobby Jones on the right. One of the things that we really wanted to do, I did it for a short time, we really want to get back to, is getting officers out and about on walking beats. And as our manpower improves, I promise you, we'll have more walking details. The photo on the right, they were on a bus. So we had officers who were riding the bus, the city bus, to get out to certain neighborhoods, and then they would walk. So as our manpower improves, which I believe it's going to, I'm pretty confident that it's going to improve, we'll be able to do much more community engagement where you see officers walking the beat, that old-fashioned police, where officers are out walking and talking and engaging with the community. A couple more efforts here. This is actually our trigger trunk, I think. Yeah, our trigger trunks. Some of our recruits were there. On the right, we have Lieutenant Simpson, who was our ESU executive officer, as well as our Marine and our Special Services lieutenant, engaging with a young, I'm not sure what that outfit is, but in one of our vehicles. So one of the big things that we've done, I'm proud of, and again, efforts that officers in the department wanted to do, was give back, to do different fundraising efforts to give back to the community. And this one you see here is the officers are presenting a check to the Home for the Brave. We've raised funds and through good efforts and the kindness of our community in Bridgeport and even outside of Bridgeport, we've been able to raise enough money and funds where we've been able to give money to the Home for the Braves, the Norma Freeman Breast Cancer, the Center for Family Violence, and just different organizations. This is me with our internship program. On the left there is Detective Frank Papalucha, and these are some students who are part of our internship program. So what we've done with our internship program is we've prioritized Bridgeport. So we take students from outside of Bridgeport or other colleges or universities, but our priority is Bridgeport students first. So Housatonic, University of Bridgeport, or high school students in Bridgeport who are looking for internship opportunities, we prioritize Bridgeport universities or schools or students first. So this is Detective Papalucha, who kind of heads he does head our internship program. Just some other community engagement opportunities. Our offices just go about these things on their own. This isn't some of these things we do that we do organize and we put together, but some of these are just random acts where officers will engage with the community. These are those efforts as you see on this video here. This is we had one of our vehicles wrapped for the Norma Freeman breast cancer awareness. As you can see on that check, it says 11,425. That number actually went up from 11,425, but we were able to give more than the amount that's on that check. Some of our other efforts here on the left, you see the BCYL, that's Caribe, one of our partners that we partner with in the city of Bridgeport. And on the right is our Gifted Hands boxing program. Just different organizations and this is just a snapshot. There's many more that we work with to provide opportunities for our youth. We did our midnight basketball with Hall Neighborhood House and the Boys and Girls Club, where we provide a safe environments for kids to go and throughout the summer. The midnight basketball went so well that when the funds ran out that we were able to obtain, both the Boys and Girls Club and Hall Neighborhood took it upon themselves to keep the program going, and we were able to get additional funds to provide meals for the kids who went. So these are just a snapshot of a couple of the programs that we have here, and we're going to continue these going forward into 2024. I believe these relationships are key to this is a key to creating public safety and reducing crime, is engaging with our young people. Our toy drive, this is the one from last year, where we work with the Marilyn Goldstein Foundation. And we're going to be doing it again this year on December 18th. We'll be out front. We'll have it blocked off. We'll have Santa, and we'll be passing out toys again. But that's a picture from last year's toy drive that went really, really well. Our police cadets used to be called our police explorers. It's headed by Officer Setti. If you can make out which one she is in there, she's on the left there. Officer Setti is the commander of our cadet program, and this is them at a SWAT challenge this past couple of months ago, believe it or not. And so we really want to continue to support our cadet program. I think programs like these are vital not only to engage with our young people, but these could be feeder systems for our recruiting efforts where we're developing these young people to be potential police officers. Our past explorers or cadet program we've produced kids who came from those programs who became police officers. So this is a really important program. It's headed by Officer Setti, and we're going to continue to support this program in 2024. Project Longevity. Project Longevity has been around for a number of years that we've worked with, and it's a program that's sponsored by the federal government, where we work with individuals who might be on the fringes or involved in gang or group activity, and we try to provide resources to those individuals to help get themselves out of a life of potential crime or criminal behavior. We're going to continue to support this program. It's an excellent program, and just another one of our crime fighting tools, Project Longevity. Officer wellness. This is a critical point, critical pillar for us, is to continue to support officer wellness. This is one where I am constantly looking to get better, and I'm going to constantly work to become better, to provide more programs to our officers. I'm a firm believer, if an officer isn't well, mind, body, and soul when they come to work, it has an impact on how they interact with the community and the services that we provide. So officer wellness is something that we really are going to focus in on. Just a couple of the photos here. We've increased, so we brought on some new canine officers. That's Officer Corey Baldwin. We have 2 officers who are in training now for canine. And it's a real strict, strenuous program. And it's Officer Corey Baldwin there with that one. And we're gonna have a couple more coming on really soon. These are some programs for our officers here where it's career development. A big focus of my tenure as chief is to develop officers. I want to develop future leaders. In that photo here, I think you see some future leaders. That's the goal, is to prepare people to take my seat and to take others, so we continue this department going forward, so there's no fall off. So we're really working hard at career development. And this is a class that these officers took. I believe it was the field training officers where they all became FTOs in this particular photo. This photo here is something I'm really proud of. Is we have a partnership with the University of Bridgeport, where not only do we're going to have, or we already have, we host trainings on their campus. One of our future goals, if we could, is to have our police academy be housed on the campus of the University of Bridgeport. Their president, Danielle, is a vital and a really great partner. And we're working on some programs. So one of the programs that you see here is they were in the police department talking to officers about going back to college, either for your undergraduate degree or a master's degree. And we have a matriculation agreement where officers who graduate from our police academy, if they don't have their degree or if they want to go for an advanced degree, they're going to look at our curriculum from our police department and match that up with the programs that they have at the University of Bridgeport. And our officers are going to be able to get college credit to go into some of those programs at the University of Bridgeport. So we preach hard about training and education and encouraging our officers to go back to school and get more education. So this is our partnership with the University of Bridgeport. This is a ceremony that we had where we were bringing on new officers. This was their swearing-in ceremony. This is the first time we had a public display of a swearing-in. Normally we do these within the police academy, the confines of the police academy, where the mayor and I will go over and swear them in. But we wanted to bring a little more flavor to it, a little more excitement and we brought in the individuals who were about to start our police academy along with their families, and we swore them in a public setting, and we actually gave them their badges. It's something that a lot of other departments do, but we just wanted to really embrace the new officers, the new hires, and welcome them to the Bridgeport Police family. And that's a photo of us doing that there. Just gonna take a sip of water here. These photos are just, the one on the left, I believe, is we had our award ceremony, and the one on the right, it's just some food or different items that were donated to the patrol division, where we just, offer lunch for the officers on any given day. Some other activities of the police department. On the right, you see officers who are members of our hockey team with some of our recruits, and these are just things that they do for fundraisers. The photo on the left was just a photo that was taken this past weekend. Our officers participated in a memorial basketball tournament in Hartford for a Hartford police officer who passed away. And we actually won the tournament, but more importantly, we were able to donate well over $1,000 to that officer's family. So that's the photo on the left. The next photo highlights our union contract. So the department had been without a contract for several years before I came. And when I came, we were almost at a stalemate where we were about to go to arbitration. And just working with the mayor's administration, we really emphasized the need to get a contract done. And that emphasis was because we wanted to provide the officers with a fair wage and a fair contract. And we wanted to be competitive so we could compete with other departments. So we really went out of our way in some instances to make that contract much more enticing. It's not great. There's things that have to continue to be worked on in the future, but we were able to eliminate a step to help increase the starting pay for officers. Where now our starting pay for new police officers in the training academy is close to $70,000, and it's made us competitive. So I'm really proud that this contract that had been languishing for a number of years, I was able to help kind of push across the goal line and get that signed and settled. So, and I think this is going to bring some comfort to our officers who they have a much higher pay raise. Okay. Just some future visionary things here we're going to talk about going forward. One of the things I want to do is, as I stated when I was going through the chief selection process, is to really streamline the department and become a much more efficient department. And so we're on our way to doing that. We were hindered and couldn't do some of those things. Contractually, when I was hired, there are certain things that had to have occurred before that in terms of scheduling and shift selections and manpower allocation. So, but now we're able to do some of those things, and we're really going to hone in on some of the things, strategies that I had in mind, and with some of the other, my command staff, we envision that will make us much more efficient. Some of those is we're really going to make the department, in terms of the supervision of certain divisions, lieutenant focused. The lieutenant's position, I always felt, was kind of one that was stuck in the middle between a captain and a sergeant, and it really wasn't used as to the best possible way. So I think we're going to make our lieutenants much more engaged, much more responsible and accountable, and really engage them. So the goal is to make the department and many of our divisions really lieutenant focused, and have the captains and above really focus on visionary future goals and things like that. So we're really going to be looking to do that with the lieutenants. Some of the other things we want to do before I touch on that domestic violence real quick is we're going to be looking at some scheduling and some the different squad alignments to see if we can become much more efficient and effective as we go into the future. We're in the process, I hope, in the end stages of a personnel study. I've gotten some preliminary information back. So I think this study is going to help us be a guide for us to go forward and to make sure we organize and structure our department in an efficient way to really go forward into 2024 and beyond. Our domestic violence unit. I'm really excited about the domestic violence unit. We have a very strong partner with the Center for Family Justice, that our domestic violence unit works with on a regular basis. We have officers who are assigned there, or they go there several days a week for a couple of hours to take cases. We've added 2 new officers to the domestic violence unit as a part of our regular rotation. But one of the things we're going to emphasize in 2024 is for the domestic violence unit to become much more proactive as opposed to reactive, where we're going to work with potential victims early on, follow up with those victims, do welfare checks with those victims, just to make them much more secure. And more importantly, one of the things we really want to push with domestic violence is awareness and education, be it in our schools or just in general, where we have programs or different programs or opportunities where we can engage and share information about domestic violence and how we need to educate and make our community more aware of domestic violence. Bridgeport is a melting pot. We have a lot of different nationalities and ethnicities in Bridgeport, and some of those individuals coming into Bridgeport, the cultures that they come from may not be aware of how our domestic violence laws work and some of the services that we can provide. So it's really important that we educate our community on domestic violence. It's a serious crime that we really need to try and eradicate as much as we can. I didn't see on here our social worker program. I'll see if that's on here, but anyhow, before I move on, our social worker program, when I came on as chief, there had been a social worker program put in the previous July, and it kind of was stalled and it hadn't gone anywhere. But now I'm happy to say, working with our health department, we have social workers who are embedded in the police department. They go out with officers, they go out with specially trained officers to handle calls that are probably better handled by someone with a social worker or a background in psychology to help defuse situations. So I'm really happy that it can and will get better, and we're going to continue to try and improve that program. But I'm happy that we do have our social worker program off the ground. It's been off the ground now for 7 or 8, 9, 10 months or so, where they're actively embedded in the police department. Our lateral transfers, I mentioned this before, our goal is 10 or more over the next couple of months. There's a couple of things that we have to work out in terms of the processing of lateral applicants, but through the good work of our civil service director and the Civil Service Commission and our city council, we've been approved now to take on lateral transfers, meaning we'll be able to get officers from other departments. That makes us much more competitive. Bridgeport was never we were not in a position in the past to take on officers who were at other departments who wanted to come on to Bridgeport. If they came here, they had to go through the whole process. So now it'll be a much more streamlined process where we'll be able to take them on and get seasoned officers onto our department. We're going to not compromise any of our standards. They're going to have to still meet the same standards that we require in the city of Bridgeport for a Bridgeport police officer. But this is really going to help us in terms of increasing our manpower, our lateral transfers. And I'm told that we have some officers who left who want to come back to Bridgeport because they see all the great things we are doing here in the city of Bridgeport. As we go into the future, I understand, we're gonna have to build our ranks up. We really want to start at the patrolman level first, right? We want to build properly. We don't want to build at the top and have an unbalanced department. And I think you do that by first strengthening up your patrol officer ranks first. And as we go forward, we look forward in the future when the opportunity is right to have promotional exams where we can hire and promote individuals who want to develop and go in their careers to sergeants, lieutenants, future captains, deputy chief, assistant chief. So we are continuing to look and understand the need to have that growth within the department. But I just want to reiterate, we have to be cognizant of our manpower issues. We don't want to put ourselves into a situation where we have an unbalanced department, where we have officers at the top that don't necessarily meet the span of subordinates. So we want to make sure that we promote properly and in a way that best fits the needs of the department and is structurally sound. So, but in the future, we do look forward to more promotions. Assistant chiefs, so we look to bring on 1 or 2 assistant chiefs in the very near future. I think it's something that we need to help give us some support at my level. Right now is myself and Deputy Chief James Baraha. This will give us some more support and some more stability at the top to undertake different projects and future goals. So we're working on that as well. So just to conclude here, I got that photo up there. Jeez. So it's been an exciting year. It went by fast. It's, again, just to reiterate, it's been my pleasure and honor to serve as the police chief for the city of Bridgeport. I want to thank Mayor Ganim for choosing me. I hope I haven't disappointed. I look forward to the remaining years that I have to continue to do good work, to continue to move the department forward. I've said all along, everyone in the department or outside of the department is welcome to be a part of what we're doing here. We're inclusive, we're not exclusive, we're inclusive, where everyone who wants to be a part of what we're doing can get on board and help take the department to the next level so we can provide good police services to the city of Bridgeport. And I just want to mention, so when I came on and we started doing the Chief Porter's Corner and other different activities to engage, a lot of officers and and people from the administration and other departments in the city jumped on board to really help with this effort. And I just want to mention some of those individuals who helped us. So first, I want to thank my administration staff for this past year who've been very supportive of me. Ann and Sarah, who, they sit out front sometimes, and when I don't yell, but when I'm not in a good mood, they kind of say, don't worry about it and you'll get it right. So I want to thank them for their support and encouragement in the work that they do and keeping my schedule proper and getting me at the right place at the right time. Sometimes when I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Also, just some other officers who jumped on this, what I envisioned and what they envisioned to really get this going. Lieutenant Collazo, he's the head of our training academy and our recruiting effort. He's been invaluable with, helping us with our engagement efforts, our recruiting efforts, a really good, our career development efforts, a really big asset, and I want to just acknowledge him. I also want to acknowledge Sergeant Campbell. Sergeant Marlon Campbell's been, at my side, engaging with the community, doing other community efforts. So I want to thank him as well. He's been invaluable as well. A couple other, Sergeant Webb from the Patrol Division, Sergeant Neary, just offering advice and giving me that patrol perspective and keeping me in line and in line with the needs of the Patrol Division, as well as all my captains as well. Two officers who I kind of knew but didn't really know. But when I came on, they've really been instrumental in this whole social media platform for me. I'm a little bit on the older side as it relates to this stuff, and they really took the bull by the horn and ran with this. Officer Chelsea Ortiz and Officer Roxanne Edwards have really been invaluable with this. They put together this PowerPoint, so I really want to thank them. Our communication staff from the city of Bridgeport, Tia, Danielle, and Anthony, none of this I could have this whole year, like creating this social media thing that we're doing. They've been invaluable with giving us insight and support and help. They create Chief Porter's Corner every week and put it out to you and take the questions, so I really want to thank them. Deputy Chief James Baraha has been my partner for the last year. I want to thank him. I put a lot on him. Labor Relations, Attorney Linda Cronin, who's my liaison with Labor Relations. She's been invaluable we've really cleaned up our discipline process where our discipline is much more fair and timely. We settle cases, they don't have to have hearings. We offer fair resolutions to some discipline cases, and that's all because of her good legal advice and negotiation skills. Mike Tubin, who works in the building, one of our biggest supporters who really helps keep me in line and helps me with a lot of different things. Detective Papalucha, Detective Laura Acevedo, who do our internship programs and different programs. I just want to mention them. And anyone who I missed, I'm sorry if I missed somebody, but this is just a snapshot of what we're going to do going forward. I look forward to more exciting things. We're going to have challenges. I understand that. I'm going to make mistakes. I understand it. Any mistakes I make is because it was because of just not intentional, not personal. It's all about the business, all about providing the best possible police services for the city of Bridgeport and creating the best working environment for our officers. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a couple of reminders. December 18th, we're going to have our toy drive out front where we're going to be giving out toys. Also, just keep in line, you don't want to miss this. Our next Facebook Live, our Chief Porter's Corner, is going to be December 19th, where we're going to talk about holiday safety. And to the citizens out there who follow us, keep following us. If you have any advice on any topics that you want us to cover as we go into 2024, please share them with us. If you know anyone out there, tell them to tune in to watch our Chief Porter Corner. We're going to make them even more educational and more, so you learn more about the police department and how we do business around here and some of our community partners. So those who watch, keep watching. If you don't watch, start watching or tell someone to watch. So again, I want to just thank you for sitting through this longer session of Chief Porter's Corner, just to give you a snapshot of the year in review for my first year. So thank you and look forward to 2024 and the years to come.